What is up? This is your LA in a minute, and I'm here in one of my favorite road trip destinations for LA, Big Bear, because I want to tell you 5 things you need to know about Big Bear City. Let's get into it. Fact number 1, Big Bear Lake is a man-made lake. In 1883, they started construction to build a water source for citrus in nearby Redlands. By 1910, they tripled the size of the reservoir, and by then, Big Bear Lake was the largest man-made lake in the world. Fact number 2, I'm here at Serrano Campground. Serrano was the name given to the native Yuhavaatiam people who were the inhabitants of this area for 2,000 years prior to the conquerors arriving. Fact number 3, future Los Angeles Mayor Benjamin Wilson named the area known as Big Bear, Bear Valley in 1845. He had a militia of 22 people appointed by Alta California Governor Pio Pico that were sent up into the mountains to try to find Native Americans that had allegedly raided their villages. They did find the Native Americans, but they also found grizzly bears, enough that when they came down with pelts, there were so many bears that he named the area Bear Valley. Fact number 4, the first resort in Big Bear opened in 1988 by Gus Knight Jr. and John Metcalf Jr. It accommodated 30 guests, and by 1925, it expanded to 64 cabins, kicking off a winter wonderland that now today features more than 200 different resorts. Wow. Okay, so what about the snow and what about skiing? Well, fact number 5, downhill skiing was introduced to Big Bear in 1925. By 1938, they had their first ski lift, Lynn Hill, which could take 10 people to the top of the mountain. And that enabled Big Bear to be a 4 seasons year-round resort. And by the way, in 1989, the first snow park specifically for snowboarding in the world opened right here in Big Bear. So here's a bonus fact. Big Bear isn't much of a bus city these days, but in 1912, Kirk Phillips, who had just returned from New York and saw the world's first bus line, thought it would be a great idea to make a bus line coming from San Bernardino to Big Bear, so he formed the Auto Stage Company, and that's what made Big Bear Southern California's first mountain resort city, the bus line. Okay, so what's the deal with bears in Big Bear? Well, Benjamin Wilson, who I discussed earlier, and his militia saw so many pelts that they skinned and killed most of the grizzly bears by 1906. Luckily, in the early 20th century, black bears were brought in to populate the area, and they're still here to this day. So Big Bear really was named after a bear, and those are 5 facts you need to know about one of the best road trips in Los Angeles. All right, LA, it's been a minute.